Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc, and streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. However, today, what is this? You don't look like Hassan at all.
No, not quite.
We have a guest co-host tonight, Mr. Darren Sanchez. Apparently, Hassan thinks that he can take vacation? Like, what is that?
Hassan's trying to have a life, so
no.
For that.
I say no to that.
We've been telling him to do that for years, so he's finally listening.
So the funny thing is, Darren's been on before. He is a past Wizard colleague. We're actually having a bunch of Wizard colleagues on here pretty soon, which is pretty exciting. Tonight we're going to talk about Venom trailer. We are going to talk about the Disney-Fox merger, which is now official, and we're going to give you our top films for reboot. We're going to go spinning the racks, talk James Gunn, but we're going to start, like I said, with the Venom trailer. I think that's what everyone is kind of really talking about these days because it was actually much better than we thought it was going to be, right?
Oh yeah, the new trailer was hot. It came out. People around the office were watching it. Just great reaction. So.
Yeah. So Darren works for Marvel Comics, so it's pretty exciting. He was going to tell us all the secrets and get himself fired tonight.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
our goal.
Well, that's what I'm going to try not to do.
No. I refuse. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Come on, give your soul to the art. No. That's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to get fired. I mean, but if you want to tell us,
because I don't have a soul.
So let's go. Let's break it down for a second. A couple things. And if you saw me on YouTube.com/Secrets of the Sire, I did a reaction video to this. So I kind of gave you a couple little nuggets of what I was thinking of it. A couple things I thought of. One, it was much better than the first trailer because they kind of showed Venom.
Well, they showed more action, more special effects, basically more of everything. It was even long.
Yeah.
It's about 3-4 minutes long, so it took a while to get through, but just much better than the first.
Way better. And what do you think about the fact that, part of me is very excited that we got to see Venom, but then part of me instantly realizes okay, they're still making this movie. Is there a worry factor that kind of goes into that a little bit, from a fan point of view? Okay, they're going to be working right up to the day it gets released.
Sure, they're still probably working on tightening up the CGI renders right until the final cut is made.
Yeah.
They'll be doing that, and that's pretty typical of movies like this. Me personally, I'm looking forward to it. I think they really hit the jackpot with Tom Hardy. Great actor.
Tom Hardy's the Benicio del Toro of acting, though, because every role he's in, he's just he's Tom Hardy.
Sure.
I feel like he's Tom Hardy. Part of me was when he was doing the Bane voice and stuff. He was doing that vicious Bane voice. I was like, oh, that's really good acting. And then I saw him in the Leonardo DiCaprio movie. The one that won him the Oscar, the one out in the wilderness in the French. Blah,
yes,
blah.
I don't remember.
And I was like,
one,
that's just his voice. That's just how he talks. And even in this movie, he's like, I'm Venom.
He was great in Gladiator. Was that? It was a boxing movie.
Yeah.
That was maybe, in my opinion, maybe his best movie.
Yeah.
But seeing him in this one, it's a lot different than the Batman Bane because you can actually understand what he's saying and it's not muffled and it's sort of Marlon Brando like with the delivery and kind of a mumbled sort of look to him and it just really impressive. If it was any other actor, I might be a little more nervous for it, but I think they did a great job casting him.
No, you know what? I can't knock them for putting him in there because he's obviously a very talented actor and he's done a lot of great things. So I can't knock it. I just joke every time.
Sure. I mean, try to imagine Deadpool without Ryan Reynolds.
No, that's it. You can't.
So yeah.
But is this going to be? Do you think this is going to be his Deadpool? I don't think so. I think this is a stop on the freeway of the Tom Hardy career.
Possibly. Probably for a guy like him, but I think it's going to surprise people with how good it is.
So a couple other things that we all noticed in the trailer, which was pretty cool. Definitely looked like a Cletus Cassidy, multiple Cletus Cassidy sightings for some Carnage stuff, which makes sense, right?
They certainly gave away a lot of the surprises in that last trailer. I was surprised to see
That's
some
what movies
some of the
do
things.
these days, though, right? That's exactly what they do.
It's yeah, it is too much.
It's very frustrating.
It is too much. Jaws went the whole movie without showing the shark until maybe like the end of Act 2. So nowadays you would have seen the whole movie in the trailers and then just go to see what happens in between the money shots, I guess. But they did give away a lot.
Yeah.
And if you slow it down, I mean, when I watch trailers, I keep hitting pause to look at all the different things that are going on, and they show like multiple symbiotes. They show the one with the axe cleavers. Well,
that's Carnage. I mean, and that's Cletus. Sorry, spoilers, everybody, if you don't know the comics. Carnage was the second symbiote. First of all, I thought it was symbiote, not symbiote.
It's
like they really go out of the way. Like if you notice, they pronounce it in this trailer. It bothers the hell out of me. Symbiote.
Yeah, at the office we just say symbiote.
Yeah, it's a symbiote. It's a symbiote. That's your symbiote, not your symbiote.
But we still mispronounce GIF and GIF, so I
So before we go even further into the Venom, talk here. And the Marvel talk is, I mean, you actually got a chance to read the script, and we're not going to get you fired. That's our rule.
Sure. I didn't read it all. I read parts of it, so I'm sure there's a lot of surprises in there for me. So
I just have to point out we are going to talk about Princess Leia a little later and how they're going to use her. You look like Princess Leia right now with the headphones, which is fantastic. He's got the Princess Leia headphones. We got you on the cameras right now.
I haven't had hair in years, so I'm happy to hear it.
You should go as you can't go slave Leia. You got to go full.
I need to work out.
4.
I need to work out a little bit before I.
No, you look good. You look good. You don't.
Well, thank you, man.
I would never thought you were 74. Like, come on.
Yeah, I wear it well, right?
So, take me through the day-to-day at Marvel. You do custom comics, like the custom comics divisions. Give our audience just a little background into who Darren Sanchez is, because he's our new Hassan. Hassan, you're fired. Take vacation days.
Hassan, we still love you. We'll let you come in occasionally.
every alternate Wednesday.
Right, holidays, mainly holidays. I can't work every day.
He's actually petrified that he's going to lose his job for this.
No,
for
Hassan,
this.
You're safe. I'm really busy.
No. I like.
Whoa.
No, don't do that. I like giving a little fear into him. That produces good results.
Inspired performance. Maybe he'll agree with you once in a while on the air.
Well, no, we don't want that.
Yes.
We've determined that our ratings go up when we disagree.
Okay. All right. Well, then you got the perfect co-host.
No, we agree on everything. I don't understand what you're talking about. No, go ahead. So give us your day-to-day.
All right. Day-to-day at Marvel, I work in custom. We basically take clients and do activations with them, like, say, an M&M's or Lexus or any company that wants to do business with Marvel, wants to associate their brand with Marvel's IPs. We can do custom comics. We can do videos, sort of like stop-motion videos or animation, all sorts of stuff to get your message across as a brand and get that brand association with the Avengers or the Guardians of the Galaxy, just whatever hero fits whatever that branding is. Like we recently did one with Dell around Ant-Man and Wasp. We did a couple of custom comics for them, basically promoting the fact that Ant-Man's a technology-based hero and doing sort of commercials, but my job is to make them feel like real comic book stories,
right?
And not just commercials.
Sure.
So that's the fun part about it, and we get to work with all the same talent that does the Marvel comics. I'm talking to Phil Noto about doing a project right now. I work a lot with Fabian Nicieza.
Fabian's our favorite guest. He has two of the most memorable performances ever. Including his first one where we literally asked him one question and it was 20 minutes of talking. And it was great because I like not doing work and I like not having to try hard, and he was perfect.
A great question, maybe this is the one you asked him, is to ask him about how he ripped off...
yeah, that was it. Yep. It was amazing.
Yes.
Took up the entire time.
Yeah.
You can't buy that kind of get that kind of guest. He was fantastic.
He's a very passionate guy. Yeah, I love Fabe. But yeah, that's the job is to.
So we have an expert. That's really what I want to convey to the audience here. So when Hassan goes on vacation, we don't just fill it with guy on the street, girl on the street. We don't discriminate. We'll have Elizabeth should co-host next time. I should actually have her. She could nourish your comic book soul.
That's right.
What's that? Well, Bevan will be on here. Yeah, we'll have her on here. I was in San Diego. She did great though. She moderated a panel of 3,500 people, which is not easy. She did the Van Helsing panel. We talked about it last week. It was a lot of fun. It was really good. So she did a great job.
It's not easy to moderate.
It's actually harder to be on the show than it is to moderate.
Well, really? Okay.
Well, Hassan, he's not very. He has this like wolf mentality that people are trying to steal his food. So he's very protective of it, which I like.
I'll be sure to disagree with you on a lot of things today.
No, you won't. That's why I brought you on here. All right, going back to the Venom trailer a second. Venom to me is like that movie, or that it's the relationship that isn't gonna last. That you're like, this is the way I look at it, right? I look at it when they announced it. I was like, what are they doing? This doesn't make any sense. How can you have a Venom movie without Spider-Man? And I got to be honest, all the shots of him were very cool, but there was just like something was missing. I was missing that Spider logo on his. He honestly, his face is very recognizable, and that's great. Mm-hmm. His, the tongue obviously is a big thing. Eric Larson made that popular in the Amazing Spider-Man run, and every artist since then is kind of.
McFarlane made it better.
No. McFarlane came first. And then
Larson did.
And then Larson was like, I hate this character. That was his entire thing. He's like, I don't like Venom as a character. I think he's terrible. So I'm gonna try to make him as interesting to me as humanly possible. And he incorporated the tongue into that.
Makes sense.
But for the most part, I feel like this is like. I joked that this is the pit stop for Tom Hardy in his career. I feel like this is a pit stop for comic book fans. I don't feel this is the grounds for like a new trilogy franchise.
Sure.
Without Spider-Man.
I agree. I don't think every movie has to be a trilogy. That's
the rule now. That's it. It has to be.
If it's a good film, I think that it can make money. It could stand on its own, and maybe generate a sequel down the road. Who knows? If the merger makes Marvel do a Venom where there's a Spider-Man story involved, and he's battling the Avengers, or he runs across Hulk, or whatever they want to do to tie it together with the Marvel universe, that could happen. But I think this is a good start, and I think Deadpool sort of set that in motion. So that individual movies can succeed without having an entire army of backstory and 10 movies before it and that sort of thing. So I have high hopes for it just being an entertaining one-shot.
One of the things that Hassan yells at me for, but the time period that it's coming out, there's nothing out. There's nothing else out. I mean,
that's totally on purpose.
Well, it is, but then you had Fox move Deadpool right into the thick of, sandwich in between Infinity War and Solo, and I think it actually hurt that movie, and it hurt Solo, cramming it in there. Had they just gone with a June release, they kind of would have been better off, I think. But Venom's got no competition either, so it's kind of like, it's nice out, but it's not quite nice out anymore. It's fall. Right. I feel like...
Well, it's also sort of the first superhero horror movie, and coming out in October sort of makes sense.
Yeah. So we talked about the Marvel Universe incorporating Venom. Is he going to be part of the Marvel Universe? Is he not? We don't know. I mean, you don't even know that.
I have no idea.
But we do know one thing. We know that the Fox universe of characters is going to be part of the Marvel Universe. So when we come back, we are going to talk the Disney-Fox merger.
Awesome.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network. Are you stuck in a rut? Negative thoughts, feelings, and conversations got you down? Hi, I'm Noreen Sumter, the Potentiator. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time and listen for new ideas on my show, Beyond Potential, Live Life Your Way, on talkradio.nyc.
Who do you want to connect with?
Are you an entrepreneur or intrapreneur looking to build your following?
Welcome to our show.
Follow Me Friday with Joan
and Priya.
Tune in every Friday at noon Eastern
on talkradio.nyc.
We're your digital connectors. Woo woo!
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
We're going to draft teams.
Wow.
Based on the likelihood of death.
I don't want to dispute you,
yeah.
Because, we got this thing going. But it sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, I'm going to be putting a lot of work into this.
Yeah.
You just have to show up.
Oh, okay. No, you know what? It's a great idea.
You had
I like
me at
this.
that.
I like this idea.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc, and streaming live on facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. I'm joined by Darren Sanchez from Marvel Comics. We're talking Venom trailer. We're going to segue into the Deadpool, not Deadpool, but the Fox universe merging into the Marvel universe in just a sec. A little bit of house cleaning. Always want to thank our patrons. Beloved patrons, go to patreon.com/Secrets of the Sire. Our patron of the month is Einar Peterson. He's awesome. He's been a big supporter of the show. We love him. We've got some sponsors coming starting next week. We've got SP&G Printing coming next week. And then we have, I'll announce this. I'll announce the second mystery sponsor when they come as well, too. And so we're excited for that. And as you saw in the commercial break, if you still are watching, which is awesome, Mainstream number 4. Co-created by Mr. Darren Sanchez here, but mostly created by me, because look, I mean, this is.
Well, there's a whole story. That's a whole different show.
It's about an interdimensional police force, polices alternate realities, keeps bad guys from other worlds from getting into ours. Issue 4 is in stores today. You can go to MikeBooks.com /store, and you could order it right there. You can go to your comic book store. You can go catch up which way you want to, but go check it out. We had our first issue was sold out, which was awesome, so we're very happy about that, and we're issue 4 of 5.
Yeah. Quick story on that.
Please.
I can tell you is that that whole thing started off with Mike coming over one day and just saying, hey, let's create something badass. We got a lot of different things. Let's do something together. So we just started coming up with ideas and oh, that one sucks. No, that one sucks. And
they were always your ideas that sucked. Mine were great. I'm like, what about this idea? No,
that was you saying that sucks. It was me. But we came up with a few, and we narrowed it down to this one. And then we worked on coming up with a cool name, or what we thought was a cool name. And it was a lot of fun putting that together.
Yeah,
so.
And now he's staring at you from behind.
Thanks, Tal.
Mr. Talon Caldwell. All right, so we were talking Venom trailer. Now we are going to kind of segue in. Look, a trailer can only give us so much, right?
Sure.
I think that, honestly, they did give away a lot, but that's just the trend, so it's not like they're doing anything different. I think we're going to expect to see carnage there because you can kind of see it.
I think there's a lot of people who are doubting, why are they making a Venom movie? What's going on? So they felt like they had to show a lot up front to kind of break through that. But
I don't think that question was answered. It still hasn't been answered. I could go see this movie and still sit there. Like, at the end of the day, why'd they make Joey? Because Friends ended and they needed something to do, and that's kind of the way this feels, right? Like it like Venom. I love that. I call everything the Joey of something, but Venom is the Joey of the Sony universe right now. They lent out Spider-Man to enormous success. They finally got a Spider-Man movie right by loaning it to Marvel.
Sure.
And then they're like, I know we could do this. We're Sony. We could do this.
But I gotta just play devil's advocate. I know that Sony.
How dare you?
Has been planning this Venom movie for probably more than 3 years.
Yeah.
So, that was before they ever patched things up with Marvel, and before they had, this was during the second run of Spider-Man, when they were planning
the Sinister Six movie. And,
sure. They had a lot of big plans, and Venom was a huge part of their future, and that was probably the strongest one, so they went ahead and did it.
Yeah. No, and you know what? Again, I can't 100% knock them for it. Look, it looks cool. Venom's a cool character. I know. That's really all I can hope for at the end of the day.
It's got to be better than a lot of the horror movies that come out, and they're there for a week. They're the number one movie, and then they disappear. And I think this will be better than that. So
something we can be excited about, though, is that Disney officially bought Fox.
Sure.
And so now, it looks like they're all kind of coming together, and it looks like all of our dreams are coming true, right? I mean, we're going to get all the Marvel characters united. So real quick, here's some backstory for folks, right? People are like, I don't understand, why can't Fantastic Four appear in Marvel films? Is because when Marvel was actually licensing their character, they were struggling. They were bankrupt.
Yeah, in the 90s, they had some issues with, and they were close to being in a bankrupt state. So they started doing a fire sale, kind of like what some of the Major League Baseball teams are doing right now, just giving away.
Nobody who listens to our show knows sports,
okay,
which is
which
is unfortunate because I know sports.
Right, we're a rare breed where we know
actually
comics and sports.
Hurts me,
but. So how about that Mets game last night? But so yeah, Marvel they sold. It's what kept them in business. So it's hard to say it was a bad move.
Yeah.
But they gave up Spider-Man to Sony. They gave up Fantastic Four and X-Men, and a lot of people don't know what that means. When they give up X-Men, it's not just X-Men, it's the X-Men family.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a movie about Magneto, you can't because it belongs to Fox.
Right.
That's why you haven't seen Galactus, for instance, in the Marvel movies,
right,
because he's in the Fantastic Four family.
Right. There are a couple crossovers, like Quicksilver, because he appeared. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch because they appeared in the Avengers.
Sure, they were both
and
Avengers.
Or X-Men. There was like a weird contract. Like something.
Yeah, but then Quicksilver died in one and didn't die in the other, and that still doesn't make sense to me. But
the one that lived was the cooler one anyway.
They both could have been cool because one of the one who died played Kick-Ass. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
so
that guy.
It's just underutilized.
He was like 20 years old. He married like a 50-year-old.
Really?
Yeah.
50-year-olds can be hot.
It's crazy. I know. It's crazy. I told you don't look a day under 74. It's amazing.
Thank you.
You fixed your headphones too. I like that.
Sure.
Let's show that to the audience. It's not Princess Leia anymore.
All right. Well, the wire was caught in something, so I had to improvise. But the in the Netflix Jessica Jones, they did a character called the Wizard.
Yeah. Okay.
And similar to I guess Marvel doesn't like speedsters. I don't know what it is.
It's the Flash. No one wants to be the Flash.
The Wizard in the Invaders comics, he was awesome.
Yeah.
And in Jessica Jones, he lasted 20 minutes and he was killed in a really
miserable,
weak.
I haven't gotten through it yet.
It was
killed me. Now my hopes and dreams for a Wizard solo spinoff has been dashed, Darren.
Well, comics dead is not dead.
So now to everyone. So actually, before we even get into the reboots, I saw some people were very concerned about this merger there because they're like Disney now owns everything.
Working for Disney, I don't see a problem with that.
we'll leave it at that. I think it's great. All right, I threw it out there on my Facebook page. It was my personal Facebook page, but I put it on the Secrets of the Sire Facebook page. If you're watching us right now, you can go check it out as well, too. I threw it out there. Give me the first 3 Marvel Fox movies you want to see. So I'm going to throw it out to you. What are the first 3 you want to see?
Me personally, AVX, Avengers versus X-Men. That's a very broad kind of thing.
Well, let me ask you a question, right? If you did AVX as the first film, right? I mean, are you then assuming then you're basically just morphing, you're just basically absorbing the continuity ish that existed in Fox? You're not setting it from day one?
No, not at all. This is hypothetical, guys, because I don't know anything about Marvel. What Marvel Studios
his opinions
is up to.
are his own,
I'm a
and
comic
nothing to
book
do with
guy
Marvel.
And
right, the movies are separate then, right?
But my take, what I would do, like for instance, what happened with Thanos. How he killed off half the universe, but there's the Time Stone. There's all these different ways to change things. If they were to fix the universe and then they go back to modern day New York City, and suddenly you see the Baxter Building,
right?
That brings a lot of questions to mind.
Let me ask you a question, and I know you don't know the answer to this because again, we just established it.
I'm just a fan right now.
Do you think they're shooting something additional, like a little Easter egg for Avengers 4?
Honestly,
like as a fan guessing, not as a as
no
an employee.
idea, but I'd be surprised if they weren't planning 3-4 movies ahead. So,
No, the 3-4 movies I know they're doing. They're absolutely doing. But I wonder if they're taking is this enough time? It's almost a year in advance. Like I feel like they could. I feel like I'm not saying it's gonna be part of the story. Like it's not like it's not all of a sudden that they're gonna bring all the heroes back and Wolverine's gonna be there, which would be awesome. Marvel do this.
Honestly, that could happen, because if you go back and change things in time, and then you go back to the time where you're hoping that you had the right things worked out because you didn't kiss that girl or you didn't go speeding through.
You
that
mean
light.
like what if, like alternate realities?
Yes, like.
Like the mainstream, which is in stores right now, issue 4. You can get it at your local comic book store.
Man, I wish we'd have thought of that. but yeah, you don't know what's going to change. So if you go back and, like I said, there is the Baxter Building, or Wolverine is there, and everybody's like, "Who the hell is this guy?" There's a whole story right there. There's a whole movie right there.
Yeah.
So there's a dozen ways they could do it. But that's just the first one that pops into my head.
So Avengers versus X-Men is first. So you know what's really funny? I threw this out there too. We got a lot of great responses to this, by the way. Brendan Sokler said Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. He brings up a really good point. Jeff Gomez, previous guest on the show, he'll be on here again as well too, which he actually talked about because we were talking about the Disney-Fox potential merger when he was on, and he said Spider-Man versus Wolverine will be like printing money. But again, I threw it back at him. I said more so than Deadpool's Spidey. I kind of feel like Deadpool is going to be one of the first things we see. Somehow integrated into the Marvel Universe.
Wolverine would be harder, in my opinion, because Hugh Jackman's at the end of his run, so you're establishing a brand new Wolverine.
Yep.
I also think that mixing Wolverine with Spider-Man is you're taking a family character and mixing him with a guy who says, go fuck yourself, so that's that would be hard. I mean, not that.
Now we're explicit on iTunes this week. Thanks, Darren.
Awesome. I hear it's good for ratings, so fuck you. But Deadpool is established. Deadpool doesn't need help. If it made another movie, it would do great. So why not team up Deadpool with somebody else? It's almost guaranteed to succeed.
Yeah.
To do it with Wolverine, I think, is a lot more risky, and I wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah. Another one that actually kind of popped up. Actually, I got to give props to CJ Pollitt, who gave the best response. He wants to see Speedball, and then I wrote back to him, was he part of Fox? And he goes, oh, he bounces back and forth. See what he did there? I see what he did there. That was excellent. That was excellent. I want to give a little shout out to him. That was very, very well done. Another one that here's the obvious one, right? Which you mentioned it with the Baxter Building, Fantastic Four, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
So much you could do that hasn't been done. I mean,
like make a good movie.
Well, yeah, like make a good movie, sure.
That would be good. That'd be a good start, right?
I don't think you need to tell the origin every time you have a first movie. You could just start with a great story and then tell the origin, in a non-linear sort of way. We haven't seen Galactus, in a real way.
Right. Here's the thing too about the Fantastic Four movie that did come out. It was great for 2/3 of the movie, and then by the last
which one?
The newest one that came out, the one with what's his face that got fired. Midway through the movie, I actually really enjoyed it. About halfway through the movie, I was really into it. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then you kind of realize they either ran out of budget, ran out of story, fired the director, or did something where all of a sudden they're like, we don't know how to end this movie.
This is the one with Michael Jordan? Michael
B. Jordan. Yeah, which I actually thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the recasting, but but they developed a really good story around why he was all of a sudden went from like a blonde white guy to Michael B. Jordan. I was like, all right, I'm sold. I'm on. You got me. All right, Doom is over there. That's great. I'm good. You're on there. That's great.
I enjoyed that movie until I realized it wasn't going anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. They ran into this wall.
There were parts of it that were pretty good.
So when we come back, and I want to hear from the audience too, you can call in because the sun's not here. So we have free reign here. 877-480-4120. Or just chime in on the Facebook feed. Give me your top picks. What are the first 3 movies you want to see? What's the first film that you want to see? And we'll continue our list when we come back.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Are you into comics, movies, and pop culture at large? What about music and TV? Then you're in for a treat. This is Michael Dolce, your host on TalkingAlternative.com. I've been professionally writing comic books, screenplays, and music articles for almost 15 years. Catch my show, Secrets of the Sire, at its new primetime slot, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and get the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. For more info, go to secretsofthesire.com.
Are you feeling unhappy with your body, shape, or size? Ever feel out of control with food? I'm Elizabeth Tripp, your host of Nourish the Soul. Join me to uncover the root to these imbalances and discover a permanent solution to living a healthy life. Join us every Wednesday at my new time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture, all the stuff that you love, and we do it right here.
Stuff that makes the girls run away.
Oh, well, clearly. No. That is completely false.
Stuff that makes the girls.
That is completely
I recommended
false.
Secrets of the Sire on my show, and I got less female listeners.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc, and streaming live on the Facebook feed. My co-host, as always, is Hassan Godwin, who's not there. Whoa! Darren Sanchez from Marvel Comics joining us here. Hassan is actually on the Facebook feed. He's at a concert right now. I hope the concert's going well, because you're fired. So, you know.
Yeah,
I hope it was worth it. This music. How dare you have a life? No, we can't replace Hassan. We can only hope to replace him. No. This is what happens when we do a show without you. We can dig into you as much as humanly possible. We were talking Disney Fox merger. Your top picks for a reboot. I want to hear. Everyone keeps talking about Fantastic Four as being the number one, which I definitely want to see. But in all told, it's kind of like it's been the third movie now at this point, right?
Sure. There's things about the Fantastic Four that work on film, and I think like the Human Torch's interaction with the Thing is one of the best parts of the Fantastic Four. So that stuff could be done great in the Marvel Universe. I also think that the Thing fighting the Hulk is another staple of the Marvel Universe, and just kind of rooting for the underdog, because he always gets his ass kicked, except maybe once or twice that I can remember that he actually won that fight.
Right. Well, you got you right off the bat, Wolverine, Hulk Thing, Thing Wolverine. I mean, basically, you have people you can kind of toss around.
Wolverine, Hulk brings to mind the McFarlane cover.
That one story. Absolutely. That's without a doubt. I'm like
first
immediately
parents Wolverine. Wendigo. And
absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, that's a big. That's a scene and a battle that people are going to be talking about, and that's something that definitely could be seen. I mean, essentially Wolverine with anything, right? I mean, that's what Jeff Gomez kind of said too. I mean, that is basically.
Well,
but it's a new Wolverine, though.
That was the mentality of the 90s, is put Wolverine on the cover and he's going to sell.
And that's when Marvel had the highest sales they've ever had.
Wizard, too,
yeah, right. I mean, we actually had a funny, Sam, our producer, had a very funny comment off the air. He was saying, Deadpool just makes cameos in every single movie. He's the new Stan Lee.
Yes, I think that would be a brilliant way to integrate Deadpool into every Marvel movie.
I could,
and
don't you marvel, pun intended? Don't you marvel at the fact that a Deathstroke knockoff? No, I'm sorry, Fabian. I didn't mean that.
That a Deathstroke ripoff could succeed. So
no, but like a character who is a fun supporting character could blossom into this. I mean, he is Would you say he's as popular as Wolverine is now? I would say he is.
I think probably more so.
Right?
My wife, for instance, doesn't read comics, and she hates that I have comics all over the house. But she knows who Hugh Jackman is, and she knows who Ryan Reynolds is, and she likes both of those characters. And the Wolverine movie recently came out.
Yeah.
She wasn't that interested in seeing it. Deadpool 2 came out. She's like, we're going to that. I think Ryan Reynolds has a cross appeal to non-comic fans and comic fans alike that helps that movie succeed.
So let me throw this out here, because this is actually my top 3 that we want to see. I mentioned Deadpool Spidey. Rob Liefeld actually tweeted he wants to see Deadpool Spider-Man, which obviously he's the creator of Deadpool, and he actually mimicked Deadpool's costume, after Spider-Man's costume. So it was definitely,
Sure.
And we use the word mimic loosely. He quoted Spider-Man's costume. Wolverine Spidey is something Jeff Gomez had actually talked about. Going back a full year ago almost. It was about 25 episodes ago and 25 weeks ago.
Honestly, you could do Wolverine Hawkeye, Wolverine Black Widow. It really doesn't matter. You don't need to bring Spidey into it.
Here's the movie, though, that I want to see, which you're going to look at me and go, well, they could have done this. I want to see Deadpool Wolverine. I want to see Deadpool Wolverine. And I want this to be Hugh Jackman's final role in the Wolverine outfit, and maybe Deadpool can kill him at the end, or do something where he's done, and the new Wolverine could. In a way, it would be surreal and farcical, but it would be a great way to ease into the next Wolverine, and at the same time close a chapter that has been building online for many, many, many years.
Sure, Wolverine Deadpool would be a great movie. They're easy to write. They would be kind of similar tone as far as the rated R sort of tone. And there'd be a lot of blood and guts and hacking, slashing sort of action going on, and a lot of mutant healing going on.
Is that the same as sexual healing?
It's Marvin Gaye doesn't sing that song. But,
I know. Maybe he would. Maybe when they go in Avengers 4 and they use the Time Stone, Marvin Gaye.
Maybe we get The Weeknd to sing mutant healing.
Yeah.
So that would be nice.
So. Another one that actually people are talking about, which I thought was actually strange, Inhumans. Everyone keeps talking like they want to see Inhumans, and I'm like, well, couldn't they do Inhumans? But apparently, I don't know, something about Inhumans now was somehow not Marvel related. Help me out here, but
as far as I know, there's no reason Marvel can't do the Inhumans. They did it on ABC. I don't see why they couldn't do it anywhere they want.
That's what I'm saying. So, but there was a number of people. So it just might be that
I could be totally wrong.
Some ignorant people posted on my wall on Facebook.
Sure,
I'm good about insulting them.
I think the Inhumans, honestly, they're kind of obscure. Almost the Guardians of the Galaxy were obscure, to be fair, and they did great. But I think a lot of that had to do with the humor and Chris Pratt and the Inhumans. They don't have humor, and Black Bolt doesn't talk. So right away, you're hamstringing yourself a little bit. So if you're going to introduce the
Isn't it the funniest thing, though, that when Fox was in control of the X-Men universe, Marvel as a company, they never officially said it. You never officially said it. This is my opinion. I don't want to get you fired. They basically kind of like got rid of any character in the comics. They died down any character in the comics. They made Wolverine super old. They brought in his son from another universe. They did all these things to kind of like die down the popularity of these characters. X-Men books, I laugh right now. X-Men 20 years ago, Hassan and I talked about this, if you were on an X-Men book, you made it. Now it's like, oh, X-Men. Oh, you're on an X-Men book now. It's amazing how Marvel as a company strategically kind of downplayed it and replaced them with Inhumans. And the Inhumans became, because I think it was Bill Jamis when he was in charge, I forget who it was just like, what are Inhumans? What are mutants? Mutants are born with their powers. What are Inhumans? They have powers, but they have to be triggered. So they're the same thing. Okay, great, Inhumans.
It's sort of, I don't think the Inhumans were ever as popular as the X-Men, my opinion. And even when I was a kid,
they didn't reach, okay, put it this way, they didn't reach the height of popularity that the X-Men did.
Sure.
But X-Men, I think, sunk so low on the chart of fans. The next gen, if you ask a 20-something, fan, or even, let's go late teen, early teenager, who's your favorite Marvel hero? Where does Wolverine even come on that list? He doesn't. Deadpool, maybe up to the top.
Sure.
Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. You're going to name every single Avenger before I think you even get to an X-Men character. Meanwhile, I mean, when we were reading comics, I'm 54, not 74, but when we were reading comics, it was Gambit, and actually someone suggested a Gambit Rogue movie, which I hate that couple. I hate that they made them.
Sure. Honestly, I don't like couples in general in comics. I don't read comics for the romance.
No. I agree with you in a sense. I like the journey. I like the journey of a romance, but like Batman did in DC, they led us up to a moment and then they pulled it from us, and that's smart thing to do. But yeah, I mean,
what's the old moonlighting thing? The minute they get married, the show's it's over.
Yeah.
So you got to keep teasing them.
No, but I mean that's so. Casey Strauss actually chimed in, and this is actually pretty. He went very specific. Casey is one of the co-hosts of the Bad Coyote Funky podcast. He won our fantasy death pool, by the way, our fantasy death draft. So we drafted Avengers characters, and the key was to have as many dead as possible. Right? That's what we did. I think. Yeah. And that was so. Whatever team had the most deaths won it. He said he wants to see Secret Wars, so he was very specific. The Galactus trilogy, which makes sense. I mean, absolutely. And then he said Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. He wants to see the combination, which I think Sam you had mentioned too. You want to see Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four.
Honestly, if we do Secret Wars, you get all that. So Secret Wars is great. That was actually
Casey.
That was actually the thing that got me into comics as a kid, was reading those Secret Wars, those great Bob Layton covers and the Jim Shooter's stories, and in my opinion, it's still the best.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's what got me into comics.
Well, yeah, I always loved.
And my friend Daryl, who gave me my first Spider-Man comic in 6th grade. Like he was my gateway drug into it. So it's definitely pretty good. Anything else you can think of? I don't know. I know they're going to do it great. I know everything's going to be good. The one thing I do kind of want to see, and I don't want to see, I want to see Gambit in an X-Men movie. I don't want to see a Gambit movie.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in seeing a Gambit movie with someone like Channing Tatum doing a fake New Orleans accent.
It can't be good.
Gambit to me is a one-dimensional kind of character that's best.
He's an amazing supporting character.
Supporting character, like Robin.
To this day, my favorite Gambit moment is very early on in his run. He had literally. I'm going to nerd out for everybody here. This is very exciting. It was Uncanny X-Men 268 or 266 is when he appeared. 4 issues later, it's the Extinction Agenda, which I'd love to see as a movie.
Sure.
272. So we're looking at 6 issues into Gambit existing. Maybe if you count the crossover, maybe 9 or 12 issues in. He gets shot by Cameron Hodge in the leg with a pike. They're all kidnapped now. Not kidnapped, but they're all basically held captive, and they're all chained up against the wall. And Cyclops, is like, okay, it's time. Gambit, and he's like, what are you talking about? I mean, he didn't say it like that. He's like New Orleans, whatever. And he's just like, I saw you take that hit. You could have gotten out of the way of that. I knew why you did it. And he reaches down, pulls the spike out, which he left in his leg, lifts his body up over his head, and picks the lock and gets him out. And Cyclops says, Storm said you were good. And Gambit says, she said the same about you. And then he lets everyone out, and they confront Cameron Hodge. I want to see that in a movie. I don't want to see Gambit getting married to Rogue.
No, big
or
character
pursuing.
moments. Big moments.
Yeah.
You don't need a 2-hour movie to have big moments for characters, to make guys love this character, or people love this character.
Yeah. No. Speaking of big moments, looks like Chris Hardwick is back hosting Talking Dead. Is James Gunn going to follow? We go spinning the racks when we come back.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
body, shape, or size? Ever feel out of control with food? I'm Elizabeth Tripp, your host of Nourish the Soul. Join me to uncover the root to these imbalances and discover a permanent solution to living a healthy life. Join us every Wednesday at my new time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
TalkingAlternative.com.
We're going to keep it superficial.
Just a brass tacks.
We are
of the
very
situation.
superficial people in general,
Well,
so we're going to stick to... Well, I'm a very superficial person.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm a book by the cover kind of person.
I'm a great guy. I'm not superficial at all.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc. I'm your host, Mike Dolce. I am joined today by Mr. Darren Sanchez, who is our guest co-host. It's very exciting. Mr. Hassan Godwin, Lord of the Radio, will be back next week unless I fire him in the interim. Hassan chimed in. We were actually talking about the Marvel reboots that we want to see. He said Wolverine with Hugh Jackman back and a fight scene with Captain America. That was one that we didn't get, the Wolverine Captain America. I'd like to see something like that.
That'd be awesome.
Basically, let's just have a slugfest movie, because that's really what all. And we'll just randomly pick characters out. It'll be like Celebrity Deathmatch. It'll be all stop motion animation.
I got to tell you, when I was 12 years old, that's all I wanted to know is things fighting the Hulk. Who's going to win this time?
I got asked that recently,
that sort of stuff,
and I had to answer the question. I'm like, I don't. I'm like 38. I can't answer this anymore. Like,
what was the question?
It was something about, can a lightsaber cut through Captain America's shield?
Yes. Honestly, I've had a few beers with a few writers, and we've talked about stuff like this, and the true answer to those types of questions is it depends who's writing it.
Yeah.
And if you tell me I have to write a story where Ant-Man defeats the Hulk, then that's the story you're going to get, and Ant-Man's going to win that fight.
Yeah.
And it's however I can figure out a way to do it. I'll make that happen. So it really depends on who's writing it and what story and what character arc they want to tell. Anybody, it's like the NFL. Any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody.
James Gallagher chimed in on the Facebook feed, Deadpool, because we were talking about Spider-Man Deadpool, Wolverine Deadpool, Deadpool is the new Stan Lee. Deadpool is kind of like Jay and Silent Bob. Either give him an entire movie or cameos. A Deadpool versus Hero movie cuts the Deadpool humor in half. And the Deadpool fans are rabid for such material.
Deadpool versus Stan Lee?
Now that I'd go to see. That would not take very long. Stan's very old. We wish him the best, and we hope he keeps going, but that would be a little tough. All right. We do this every week. We go spinning the racks, bringing you the most fantastical pop culture news out there. See, Hassan, you're never gone. You'll never be gone, even if you're gone. Chris Hardwick recently has been reinstated as Talking Dead. So for everybody who realizes, go back to episode 124. We talked all about it. He got caught up in the Me Too movement. Not in the correct position in the Me Too movement, though. He was on the receiving end of allegations. However, they figured everything out and said, nope, he's going to come back. AMC has announced that he's going to be back there. So the natural question then is James Gunn next? James Gunn, according to many outlets, including Hollywood Reporter, the cast of Guardians 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, is begging, making written statements to get him back on the movie. Any shot that we're going to see, and again, you work for Marvel Comics, you have nothing to do, your opinions are your own. This is just two radio personalities talking.
Sure.
Any shot that he's back on Guardians 3?
Honestly, I was surprised Chris Hardwick got reinstated because his allegations were more than allegations, and that's not something he said, but it was something he did. And that, to me, there's a big difference. If I ask a girl out and I somehow do it in a way that annoys her or something, that's different than me smacking her, or
right.
I feel like I don't know the story behind either of these guys, so it's hard for me to say for sure.
Well, for anybody in the who doesn't realize, Chris Hardwick was in supposedly a quote unquote abusive relationship, emotionally abusive, not physically abusive. So there is a difference in that regard. But she published his accuser published an article describing that the emotional abuse that she suffered for 3 years with him. James Gunn, meanwhile, got his Twitter account, tweets that he did in 2008, 2009 brought back that were vulgar in nature.
Sure.
And it immediately got him fired immediately. I'll say this. If James Gunn is reinstated, look, I'm not going to sit there and say what he did was really the worst thing in the world, because quite frankly, and I said it on last week's show, he did this when Twitter was still a new medium. People back then were used to online diaries, things where you express your feelings. They didn't realize that social media is media. You are now a media outlet. Anything you put out there is now official. It's as if you got up in a room full of 1,000 people and just got up there and said whatever you wanted to. It's as if you went on a PR newswire and published a story, 300 words or less, describing this and that. But that being said, I would find it very hypocritical if they went back and rehired him, just because, Roseanne Barr lost her entire show. She also had terrible use of social media. She's a terrible person, or or as Bill Maher said, she's a mentally unstable person. But she lost her entire show and her entire legacy.
Right. And ABC is a Disney-owned company.
Yeah. That's good. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get you fired, man. That's what this was all about here.
Honestly, I don't think James Gunn is going to be reinstated, but that's just my personal opinion. Because
I think he'll be fine, though. I think at the end of the day,
he's going to be fine. But is he going to be the director of the next Guardians? I think that's what we're talking about.
No. I think they're going to move on.
And whether I agree or disagree with why he was immediately fired for something he said 10 years ago,
right?
People have to realize, and a lot of people who are in their 20s, they don't realize how different things really were 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You watch a roast, go on YouTube and watch a roast, a Bruce Willis roast, or any kind of roast, and you'll see some stuff that would immediately get people fired. That was said and that everybody's laughing about. So in a climate where everything's okay, it's like ex post facto. You can't say, oh, it's illegal now, so since you did it 10 years ago, we're going to arrest you. I don't think you can do that. If he continues to do that sort of thing, then maybe.
Right. There isn't, and I'll be, I use the Roseanne because of the political spectrum the two of them happen to be on. But I don't equate the two. Roseanne is using social media now when we know what social media is, or you should know what social media is. There's no excusing what you do now. If you're going to go out there and put a racist tweet out, you should live with the consequences. If you're putting something out that is quasi, it's we don't even know the context of what James Gunn was posting 10 years ago.
From what I read, he's trying to be.
Well, I know he was trying to be provocatively funny.
I know,
comedian.
Like a Richard Pryor.
We learned that James Gunn's not very funny. That's what we learned.
Well,
we
know Chris Pratt's
excellent
funny. I don't
director.
know how funny James Gunn is.
Excellent director.
But yeah, it's he did it 10 years ago, and in my opinion, it should have probably stayed 10 years ago.
This is something that I can talk sports. It's really great. They talk about this now because the Brewers pitchers, Josh Allen on the Buffalo Bills, people have these tweets from when they were like 15 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old.
It only happens after someone throws a no-hitter or hits 3 home runs in a game or does something spectacular.
Or so bad that people have to go and investigate this person.
Somebody,
I know.
They may already know it, and they're just waiting for him to do something that they can release this. It's
a public service announcement. Go scrub your Twitter feeds. Everyone, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, or just don't tweet stupid shit. That's pretty much.
No. Here's the thing. I think there's something that you don't know that was something you might not realize it's stupid when you do it. Just think. Are you in front of a room full of 1,000 people? Would you say that?
Sure. Yeah. Tweeting about how the idiot in front of you at Starbucks is, ordering this super complex order, or just road rage or whatever your complaint of the day is. You don't know that 10 years from now there's going to be some kind of movement against road rage, and then you're going to get fired for having that thought.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's just, that's a little bit too extreme.
Joe Mulvey chimed in. Joe Mulvey, fantastic artist, by the way. He's done some stuff at Marvel, too, but he's doing a lot of stuff at Comics Tribe right now. Gunn is coming back. Actions speak louder than words. He's done more good in person than the bad of a few tweets. No one seemed to remember over the last 2 films. Hassan chimed in, but we don't care about Hassan. Joe Mulvey said these tweets existed when he made the first 2. Why should internet outrage now make these stupid comments have any more relevancy now? That's kind of what we're talking about.
They don't have relevancy except for the fact that they're being dragged out into the light, and then a company like Disney is forced to have to react.
Yeah.
And to react and then to retract what you did, it just...
That's an excellent point that Hassan would never have made, even though he just made it on the comments feed. All right, one real quick. Spinning the Racks, Leia returns. Princess Leia is going to be appearing, even though Carrie Fisher obviously is posthumous. She's passed away. We thought maybe she would be done in Last Jedi, but they kept her character alive. She's going to return, based on numerous reports, using footage shot in Episode 7 that was unused. What are your thoughts on that? Good? Bad?
I'm cool with that. I'm a fan of Princess Leia and Carrie Fisher. I wouldn't want to see CGI Carrie Fisher.
No.
But if they shot this stuff, I don't see any reason why they can't use it.
But every time I think about it, I just think about The Simpsons when they were filming Radioactive Man, the movie, and they're like, we can piece this together from other footage. And it's like, what do we do, Fallout Boy? And then they show a completely different scene. Let's get him, Radioactive Man. And it's like, no, like, let's...
That's how Power Rangers is made, actually. But,
oh, man. Hey, so a lot of fun. Great having you on. Hassan, you're fired. It's it. It's done. It's over.
Sorry, Hassan.
It's all over. Next week, we've got Adrian from Vault Comics coming on. I'm sure someone's going to say something stupid on the Twitter feed. Maybe Hassan will be back. Tune in next week for Secrets of the Sire. Coming up next, the governor's...
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.